What's happening, Cheesecake Nation? Supercharged Funk and the Dave. Last night with another This Weekend Wrestling TLC edition. Alrighty, so a lot of build up.
Well, not a lot.
Well, yeah, not a lot.
Good build up, but not a lot of it.
So,
Though I'll say a couple matches there was solid build up too, but a lot of them.
oh yeah,
chairs match. No one gave a shit about.
yeah.
So you want to just kick it right off? There was a pre-show, but I don't think anybody watched it.
Nobody cares. So, but decent pay-per-view, I gotta say. Not better than what I thought it was going to be.
One match I didn't like, and we'll get to it.
Yeah.
Everything else,
Yeah.
good,
Right.
good or great, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right. So first up, we had one of my favorite matches of the night. Probably not my favorite, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. Was Bray and Randy versus Heath and Rhino for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. No stipulation in this match, and I think this is where we got the new Wyatt entrance, where it starts off with Randy's older theme,
Burn My Light.
going into his newer theme, and then it goes.
I hear voices.
Doom, doom. So I actually thought that was pretty cool. Nice little solid match all around, I thought.
I think the most important thing to talk about in this match was the finish and how good.
Absolutely.
That was a good spot, because I know
Yeah.
a lot of people have been kind of like, Bray's spider crawl exorcist thing, like, it's kind of weird, like, how can you really use it offensively?
Yeah.
This was a good use of it.
Absolutely.
Rhino came in, Bray popped up, he's like, the fuck? And then immediately Randy got him with the RKO. It looked super clean, super crisp.
Yeah. Oh.
Rhino took the best RKO in a while. Like, that was a really good one. Because some of them, these RKOs out of nowhere aren't the cleanest. And it's like, you can't, the camera's out of position. Just stuff like that.
Yeah. And of course, had the whole thing where Harper pushes Randy out of the way, takes the, it was the gore?
If Morrow called it the spear, but yes, the gore.
Yeah. And just kind of cementing, And I figured we'd get a little bit more hostility, but maybe we'll see some more down the road. Who knows what's going to go on.
I think WWE might realize they've killed the Raw tag team, so I'm guessing at WrestleMania we might get a 6-man, New Day and the Wyatts.
Could be.
Because we now have 2 3-man tag teams using...
Who
I
knows?
said Bray's not going to defend the tag titles.
Right. And who knows if what they're going to plan on doing with Rowan.
I heard he's injured. I don't know.
Oh, yeah? Well, I would assume, just because he hasn't been on.
And that's, when we get to it, there was another stable of tag teams that lost a member, and it was by injury. When we get to it later on.
Yeah, and so a lot of people are talking, he's only there so he can tear down the Wyatts from the inside. But
I do have to ask you one question. It's been kind of bugging me a little bit. The fact that Randy hasn't really look-wise changed.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Randy has to grow a big Wyatt beard or anything, but remember when Daniel Bryan joined the Wyatts and he wore a jumpsuit? Something for Randy, just to look the part. I don't care if it's just long pants.
Yeah.
Not tights, like actual long pants.
Yeah. And everything about the ending was great. Them both putting their belts on Luke, which was really cool. So, makes them the Wyatt family, kind of. So,
because I love to see a slow burn on this. I know a lot of people are like, oh, WrestleMania's coming up, maybe that's the time.
Put that stuff in the crock pot, let that simmer for a bit.
I would go past it, in all honesty. I don't think it needs to be at WrestleMania. I think you slow burn it, and you let, Randy and Harper just, be a tag team. I bet you they'll have fucking amazing tag teams.
Oh, absolutely.
Randy is really good when he wants to be. Luke is really fucking good. Bray cutting the promos for them, that's a good...
Sitting on the outside with his rocking chair, just doing Bray stuff, could be great.
I don't know how I feel about a 5-man commentary during their matches, but hey, 2 of those guys could go to Fuck Off Island. I would have no issue if, when Bray shows up, he just, smashes Otunga with a chair.
Or if he just does this thing and then, Otunga disappears.
You know what would be really cool? If they cut Otunga's mic, and then, he's just looking down, but, his mouth is moving, but Bray is coming through.
That would be great.
Because you don't have to show him that often, but, you show him once to do it.
Yeah.
And you understand what it is, and it's Bray talking through Otunga. So like the rest of the time, it's just done in post because that's how most commentary is done. But you just have him, and he's just like starts talking, and it's Bray's voice coming out of his mouth, and he cuts straight to the match and whatever's going on. Like that's a cool little thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little cheesy. I'll admit it, but it could
But
be a
it
little fun
would
thing.
fit Bray's character really well.
And it gets Otunga to shut up for a match.
Yeah. All right, so moving along to probably the worst match, the no disqualification grudge match between Nikki and Carmella.
I want to be super fair to this match because I don't think technically they were bad. I don't think the booking.
Yeah, I
necessarily was
don't
bad,
think the match was.
But storyline wise, it made no sense.
No.
Like, all right, let's
Not at
say
all.
I've been being a dick to you. Do you really want to get a quick victory and run out of the ring?
No.
No, it's like. Plus the fire extinguishers. That's
Yeah, everybody.
very-
I don't think anybody was a fan of the fire extinguisher. It was kind of funny for a second, but
It's a good like, psst, and then they're blind,
Yeah.
and then you do something.
but then that was the ending. Like I.
yeah, she was just like,
No, that was not a good ending.
yeah, it went on way too long. It literally should have been a blast in the face to get the nice
Yeah.
smoke. Like, all right, I'm gonna tell you guys a story. When I was in the military, it got hot. We had a lot of fire extinguishers around. Sometimes we would stick them up our shirts or down the back of your pants and cool yourself down. Fire extinguishers don't hurt. It's just the WWE kayfabeism that's like, oh my god, it's super cold. You could freeze flames. Like, no, it's not that devastating. Like, yeah, you wouldn't want to get blasted in the face, and that's why, like, the quick kind of thing works. But that was just too much. It was just kind of a dumb ending, and
Yeah.
especially the fact that, like, she was up immediately after
Right.
the finish, and everyone was like, yeah, it was Natty. Natty did it, and then Natty's like, what? No.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Well, wasn't that also on the pay-per-view? Like, she had a talk with
No.
Renee Young. I could have
don't-
sworn that was on the
I
pay-per-view.
can't remember.
They were like, "What do you think?" And then, like, they just had a face-to-face at the pay-per-view. I want to say.
Maybe.
I could have sworn. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
It
I
has been a
I
week.
honestly can't remember. Yeah, and I didn't write it down. So all right. So next up we had, what was
All right, wait before we move on. Do you think it's Natty?
I don't know, man. Like I would be very surprised if it wasn't.
I just don't think it is because it's so stupid.
Well,
All
I
right,
mean,
there's a really dumb thing. All right, I assume it's Eva Marie, but I haven't put the fucking pieces together to figure out why Eva would attack Nikki.
yeah,
just
like
over
it
Team
makes.
SmackDown.
It was nothing to screw it. I mean, from if you look at it from Natty, she did it so that she could
Be in the match.
be in the match. So
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. It seems like such a dumb storyline.
well, yeah, but
I
it's
mean, I get it.
WWE. they do that every
Like,
once in a while.
it's just like, oh, Natty did it. Because, like, Natty's in this, like, weird thing where, like, oh, no, I'm a good guy. But, like, you didn't do
She
anything.
just came off of
being a
being
bad guy.
a huge heel.
Yeah. Like, I was a bad guy, but now all of a sudden I'm a good guy. Trust me, right? It's like, wait.
Especially because like they're also playing off Total Divas, where like,
Yeah.
she's clearly like best friends.
The
with
cancer of wrestling. Where they're just like, oh, hey, let's put these real life things in with this storyline.
All right, so so next up, I don't know if this might be my favorite match of the night. The ladder match between The Miz and Dolph Ziggler, Intercontinental
It's
Championship.
really good. I would agree.
Ooh.
Best match of the night.
Yeah, like so good. Just
I think there was a better spot later in the night, but
Oh, yeah.
I think this was the best match.
definitely, so good. Just, Miz is great. Dolph is great. Spots were good. Just it went. It was. I think it was good timing. Like it didn't go on super too long because I was getting to the point where I'm like, wow, this is going on a little long. Like I'm like, I hope it doesn't go on for too long, but it was just right.
I do have to ask you a question. All right, The Miz wins. Where does Dolph go?
That's what I've been asking myself. Especially because they were just giving Dino the level when we get to it on SmackDown, his shtick against The Miz, which was kind of weird.
Because generally speaking, you'd want to move Dolph somewhere else. Obviously, you can't move him up the card. and they have nothing really below Miz right now in the card. Like, does he feud with Baron Corbin?
Again,
that feud that no one liked. Wink, wink. I see a lot of people blaming Kalisto for that, and believe me, we'll get to that whole discussion. But I'm just saying, like, if every feud Baron Corbin has, nobody likes, and there's only one person in common. Just saying.
Yeah.
So I honestly I don't know. Maybe he makes a tag team with somebody.
I could see that.
I want Apollo Crews to do that, do the tag team thing.
Yeah.
I think him and Swagger could be a good tag team. I don't really care. Like, they just need to put him with somebody. I'm still of the opinion that everybody on 205 Live doesn't need to be Team Raw, because SmackDown needs warm bodies. Put some of those dudes on SmackDown. I don't care who, just like somebody, so like you get a little bit of freshen up. Because honestly, I don't know. Dolph and Kurt Hawkins maybe as a tag team.
Could be interesting. It's like, yeah, you just gotta. Dolph is in just a weird position now because.
Yeah, he has no justification for moving up, but he's at the bottom. Effectively, short of just being in feuds for no reason.
Yeah, like it would just be weird just to have him off TV for a little bit, and then funneling with all this on AJ and Dean and James Ellsworth stuff, and just then have him go up. He just didn't. Yeah. I like Dolph Ziggler, and I think.
But I mean, just in storyline.
Yeah, like, in storyline, it wouldn't make sense. So they'd have to build him up for that first, but they haven't done that, and he just lost to the Miz.
The only storyline thing that makes sense is Baron Corbin. But nobody wants to see that. So again. I assume that's what we're going to get.
So who knows? But yeah, again, match of the fucking night. Like, it was just a great match. Just the ending was very Miz. You know, Maurice didn't really get involved, which I was kind of surprised. I'm surprised they didn't do anything.
I'm kind of glad because I think she's been getting involved in so many of his matches in a row that her staying out of this one kind of like... Because I think when Miz hurt himself in the match and fought back, that was a good spot for them to like, no, we don't want to dick around with this. Yeah. Let Miz look tough in a match. Because you got to make your Intercontinental... Like, I understand the idea of you want your heel champions to look beatable, and thus they have to look weaker than the face, or you don't believe the face can win. Which I think there's definitely a need for in wrestling right now for monster heels. Because there's really not that many of them. But I understand the logic behind the cowardly heel that loses. So I'm glad she didn't get involved. Miz effectively won perfectly clean. I mean, the end of the match was him kicking Dolph in the dick twice. But hey, it's a no DQ match. He also hit him with a ladder a bunch of times. And Dolph hit him with a ladder. So you can't really like gripe about it when it's a no DQ match. Gird your loins, as they say.
So yeah, this was great match of the night.
The only thing I didn't like was it was a little like they kind of telegraphed it when like Dolph is climbing up 2 ladders like that. I'm like,
yeah, they were really kind of phoning it in a little bit.
Oh, just kind of like, that's kind of a weird way to climb a ladder. And like Miz got up there and kicked him once, and then like Dolph didn't quite sell it right, and gave him a good one.
All right, so this match coming up. Surprisingly a good match. Kalisto versus Baron Corbin in the chair match. I think it was better than... I think this was a surprise of how good it was.
I'm saying a lot of respect for how brutal the match was.
Yeah.
Did not enjoy it.
No? Didn't like very much?
I'm not a big fan of chairs matches in general. Like, they're just kind of goofy, and it's a lot tougher on your body, but it has really no point. Like, just don't. I mean, chairs match is a dumb idea. Like, what is the rules to a chairs match? If you can explain that to me, maybe I'll care more. But
not a lot to...
Especially when the best chair spot of the night wasn't even in the chairs match. So...
Yeah. See, and this match would have been so much greater if they didn't ruin it on SmackDown, but we will get to that. Alright, next up was Becky versus Alexa. Now this match...
I liked it, but I saw a lot of people were disappointed.
Yeah, like, I'm kind of in that mixed bag. Like, I wished it was better, but I didn't dislike it. Like, a tables match is kind of hard to book.
I like it, but I think there's a perceived way of booking a tables match that I don't like.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, it should be like any other match, and then you have the benefit of the finish can come out of nowhere effectively.
Yeah.
But a lot
and
of
it
them,
kind of did. Like this one,
Yeah.
it was just like she was,
Yeah.
so it was still pretty good. Good way to get the belt off of Becky and put it on Alexa.
They didn't commit my cardinal sin of tables matches of just one person putting themselves through a table and ending it, because that's pretty much what I expected. Because I expected Alexa
Right.
to lose, and I was like, how are you going to put Alexa through a table? It'd be like trying to put the cat through a table. What does she weigh? 90-something pounds? You'd have to gimmick the bejesus out of that table, like some rickety, like
Like
flexing in the
matchstick.
ring. Yeah,
No, a piece of paper.
like one of those like pretty princess tables from like preschools. So like, I was like, she's gonna have to sparkle, splash, and miss. That was like the only way I
Yeah.
could see her going, or Twisted Bliss, is her name. She'd have to do that through the table. That was the only way I could see the table breaking, short of like a really crazy spot. But I didn't know if Becky would do it. Like remember the Bubba Ray powerbomb spot?
Yeah.
Something like that, where you sit on the top turnbuckle and powerbomb somebody through a table. Because I don't think Alexa could just be like slammed through a table.
That's kind of like that's effectively what she did to Becky.
Yeah,
It
on
was
the
on
outside.
not in the same spot, but
Yeah.
so I
One
thought.
arm powerbomb.
Yeah. I mean, Becky is my favorite
SmackDown.
lady wrestler.
Oh, period.
I think Becky's my favorite, but I also really like Alexa Bliss, and I'm glad she won just because it kind of what's that story?
What'd you say, Oscar?
Yeah, we know, Dave. We know. But yeah, I think these two, they're probably in the run for my favorite. So I'm really enjoying this feud. You know, so I'm definitely interested in seeing where it goes from here on out. So, and finally, the main event. Close but no cigar, but easily the second best match. AJ versus Dean. TLC match for the WWE Championship. I know you're not a huge fan of Dean.
I thought this was a pretty good match. Dean did a lot of work in this
Yeah.
one. So, cool on him. Obviously, the spot we got to talk about. AJ ripping his pants. My first thought was, they don't have a pair of shorts in the back. Like, are we just gonna pretend like, oh no, just let it roll until a testicle falls out? It's like first it started out with like a hole like that, but like by the end of the match, it was
It's half his butt cheek.
yeah, I just like.
But the oh my god, dude, the best thing. First of all, my thought was, oh well, I know what's gonna be on King Ross's show, and then when SmackDown came around, the first thing he talked about was he threw it up on the Titantron. I'm like, that's fucking hilarious.
I feel bad for AJ. I mean, that could have been fun. I'm sure like he immediately knew because he spent
Yeah.
most of it selling on his back, not
Yeah.
his stomach. So I was just surprised. You think they'd be like, oh, let's get a pair of shorts out here real quick. And just like, here, put some shorts on. I mean, if they're going to stop the match every time somebody bleeds, I think you could stop the match and be like, here's some shorts.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, like your ass cheeks out. Maybe we don't want to show that to a bunch of children. The chitlins won't somebody think of them. But that's what sucks about the pants ripping spot is it so heavily takes away from the spot that caused the rip in the pants. That like suplex into like a power bomb, like he like flicked him.
Yeah.
Through like a stack of chairs just set up like holy crap, really cool spot.
Yeah.
But then it ripped his pants and everybody's like, ah, look, his ass. Isn't that hilarious? Not Jesus Christ. But spot of the night we got to talk about. Springboard 450 from inside the ring to outside the ring through a table. Great. Should have been the finish. But
Yep.
WWE wanted to heavily hand the booking on this one. Alright, so let me just run you through this as I, a professional wrestling fan, watch this. AJ hasn't won after that spot. He goes into the ring. He starts climbing. And you get James Ellsworth comes out. He stops the climbing. He waits around. Ellsworth comes in the ring. AJ starts beating him up. Dean comes in, starts beating him up. Dean chucks his ass out of the ring. Dean starts climbing. Ellsworth pushes him over, goes through a bunch of tables. doesn't sell at all. He's just sitting there like,
Yeah.
oh,
And then he takes a nap.
yeah, I like to go home now.
And then he remembered to sell it.
Yeah,
after
like,
the fact.
it was so bad. The camera's looking directly at him, and he's just like,
Yeah. And
What
then
are you
he's
doing?
like, oh wait, I'm supposed to sell this.
like, did he not know the camera was looking at him?
Like I remember like them going from like him just being like,
yeah, he's like looking around. His eyes are open.
and then like after they pan back to him, he's just like
Yeah, like
the camera guy like
I can only assume the camera went to another camera so the cameraman could yell at him.
right.
He's like, "Sell, you fucking idiot!" All right, so James Ellsworth cost AJ the match almost because he wanted AJ to win the match. Like, AJ
Yeah.
would have climbed the ladder before Ellsworth came out. Like, Dean literally just went through a table. He was like halfway up it by the time Ellsworth came down.
Yeah.
Took Dean another like 3 or 4 minutes with that like adrenaline boost to come help his buddy out. Still get into the ring.
He got his attack plans from Hans from Frozen.
It made no sense. Like, just staying in the back would have been good. But yeah, and then did you watch Talking Smack?
No, that's
After
something I
the-
got to start doing.
It's all right.
For now.
All right. So effectively, they used it to explain why Ellsworth
Yeah.
betrayed him.
Oh, I mean, I know.
Along
what
with a couple
happened.
other things. Like, I'll just kind of talk about it because we're done talking about the main event. It was all right. That's pretty much mine. It had a really awesome spot, and I don't want to take it away. Actually, 2 really awesome spots, and one kind of gets taken away by misfortune. All right, so first you had Alexa Bliss on. Cut a very babyface promo
Yeah.
on Talking Smack about, like, how much the women's title means to her. Having her folks there, she's crying, like, real emotion. You know, like, my parents were here. This is the first time they've been able to see me wrestle in WWE. Like, they went to some of my NXT shows, and, like, it means a lot. And then you kind of, like, see it in her eyes where she's like, oh, yeah, I'm a bad guy. And then she's just like, oh, yeah, and Becky sucks. It was very weird. And then you had Baron Corbin. You cut the next one. He did a really good job staying. He's like, and Daniel Bryan cut a really dumb as fuck promo on Baron Corbin. Like, all right, so Baron Corbin's like, hey, I beat everybody you put against me, and like Daniel Bryan's like, yeah, but you outweighed Kalisto by like 100 pounds, so it's not that cool. He's not the one who picked a fight. Like, that's on you, numbnuts. He beat Jack Swagger. Jack Swagger and Baron Corbin are like 10 pounds within each other, I think. I think Swag's like 270. I think
Yeah.
Corbin's probably like 280, maybe.
Something like that.
Yeah, so it's like, it's professional wrestling. You're trying to say there's weight limits now, or is it like I don't know. I don't understand like what your argument was there. Are you trying to say like Kalisto was some wimp and then like he was bullied by like Corbin? Like it was Kalisto that attacked Corbin to start off this like new feud. Weird.
All right, guys, that was TLC.
Oh, one other thing.
Oh, right.
And then the last one was
Right.
Ellsworth trying to cut me off on the most important things.
Oh, yeah,
Ellsworth
sorry.
was like, "Oh yeah, I'm getting a title match on SmackDown," which didn't happen.
Nope.
So,
Well, I think just because AJ hurt his foot.
uh,
I think that was the intention.
but yeah, they cut this thing about like how on SmackDown he'd be getting a title match against AJ, and like he didn't do it. He feels like he has a better shot against AJ than Dean.
Yeah.
But he's so delusional, he thinks he has AJ's number. He's like, I
Yeah.
beat him 3 times. There's no way AJ beats me for the title. So that was the reason he betrayed Dean. Kind of dumb, but whatever. It moves along the story. All right, let's see you guys in Raw. And we're back with some Monday Night Raw. I have to be fair. I missed like the first 15 minutes of it. I was playing Overwatch. I was like, oh shit,
Forgot.
Raw time.
All right, so opens up with Seth coming out and just being like, "Hey guys, yeah, I want to fight Triple H." And it was kind of out of nowhere because like we haven't touched upon that.
Yeah, like he just kind of forgot for a while. But
Yeah.
now he's like, oh shit, it's WrestleMania.
Oh yeah,
time.
that's right. I'm Seth Rollins and I hate Triple H. He's an asshole. And then obviously Kevin Owens comes out. You know, they get in the big to do.
With his French Canadian accent.
And he comes out saying, I got a bunch of gifts from my friend, Chris Jericho. And one of those gifts is you're going to be fighting the Big Show. And so here comes the Big Show. And they have a little match. You know, Big Show looking great.
Yeah.
Like, he looks phenomenal, which sucks because his career is pretty much just about over.
I think Show's got probably 2 more feuds left in him. I think
Yeah.
you're going to see. Actually, I
It
wouldn't be
wasn't
surprised.
wasn't his original plan to retire this year, but then he pushed it off
He
or
wants
something.
to retire after Mania if he gets the match with Shaq.
Right.
So if he goes into the plan spot I would have is Braun Strowman in the Rumble, take out Roman's record quickly.
Yeah.
Like I would put Braun Strowman at number 1. He gets to kill everybody. He just straight up like I want him to physically like kill
One guy
Sami
come
Zayn.
like one
Yeah.
after another, just
like video game style, like because you know like usually you get the clusterfuck in the ring.
yeah.
Like I don't know what Roman Reigns' record is. Is it 22? Elimination.
I can't remember.
So I can't remember what it is. I want to say it's 22, and that does sound like a lot for one person to eliminate, but to have just a complete dominance performance. You start as the number 1 man, and very quickly you eliminate everybody. You're the only one in there.
Yeah.
They come out, you just straight up like murder them. As the music hits for the next guy, you dump him over. The next guy comes out, he just murders them.
Yeah.
Something along the lines of that for a while, and then you obviously get him and Sammy could have a fight for a
Yeah.
while, and then eventually he's going to eliminate Sammy. He does the thing with Big Show, and Big Show uses some sort of veteran move to beat him. Like he doesn't
Right.
beat him, so that way whatever your pay-per-view is between Mania and the Rumble and Mania, that's where you could do Strowman and Big Show. Strowman hits his running power slam on Big Show. You get to use that as your big, like, holy shit. Strowman goes into Mania and he wins the Andre.
Right.
That's how I would book Strowman through. And then that gives you something for Show to do in the meantime until you want to start building up the Shaq,
Yeah.
Big Show thing.
Alright, so, you get a little back and forth. It was a decent little match. Nice to see Big Show, You're just saying Kevin's sitting there yelling at him. This is a new record for the Big Show.
The fastest heel to face, or face to heel to face. So yeah, I kind of like it as Big Show just being a human being. Like he's like, oh, I'm gonna win. Like I've been putting in the work. Seth, you've been kind of talking a lot of shit about how you're the best in the company.
Yeah.
I'm still in the company and I'm better, and bigger and better than you. So I didn't really mind. Like I know a lot of people were like, oh, it's kind of heely Big Show, but it was like, no, he's just determined. But he's not gonna put up with any shit from Kevin Owens.
It just is like, and then he just walks out, and I think that was pretty funny,
Yeah.
All right, so good on you. Next up, we had fight number 2 between Gentleman Jack Gallagher versus Arya Daivari. Great match again.
Not as good as the 205 match.
Not as good as the 205.
It felt like there's somebody who was like, hey, that 205 match is really good, but most of the WWE hasn't seen it, so let's just redo that match. And then
Effectively, yeah. And
because like he didn't really sell the meat
no.
on Raw, but he did on the next episode of 205.
Oh yeah,
It really annoyed me.
yeah. I mean, after this one, he after the win, Jack Gallagher got the win again. Goes to shake his hand. Ari Daivari, does it, then turns on him and just starts beating the shit out of his knee, just really going at it. When we'll get to that on the 205 Live because there will be a third match in that sequence.
Like I'm cool with them feuding, but it just felt like they're already starting to say like we don't care what happens on 205 Live. Like we're not going to pretend it's something important.
Well, I mean, they had Rich Swann win, and they've been promoting the shit out of him.
Well, he's also the champion. So he's also the biggest star they have in the cruiserweight division so far. I'm telling you right now, Mustafa Ali. That's my guy in the cruiserweight division. I decided because I was like, Tozawa is kind of like
Sugar, what the hell did you find over there? Hold on a minute.
I'll continue on my thing while he's
keep
over there.
going.
So I like Tozawa. I like Gallagher. I like a lot of the guys that were in the cruiserweight division, but I think time will tell. I think Mustafa Ali is the guy. I see a lot of star quality in him. You get back in this, leaving me all alone. Solo commentary. Sugar wants to kill herself with a plastic wrapper.
I don't know where the hell she found it. Now I don't know if she wants to get back down.
All right, so
Well, there we go.
I'm really worried about 205 if they're already kind of like they're pretending what happens on 205 didn't happen on Raw.
What are you doing?
You're pretty much guaranteeing you're going to kill your show.
I don't know what she's doing. I don't know if she knew I don't know if she knew if she was stuck or not. Yeah, time will tell how 205 Live is gonna go. Yeah, all right. So next up, we had the Kevin and Chris promo saying, "Hey, I got you these matches. I tried to get Seth Rollins beat up for you. We're good, right?
Yeah.
We're best friends." And it's
So are
like,
we assuming this is the match at Royal Rumble? Because
Yeah.
I, in my soul, I can't believe they're putting the title on Roman.
no,
I don't believe it. Short of,
especially because he's already U.S. champion.
yeah, I don't think that's the plan. I think they're going to keep it on Kevin and then do Kevin and Chris at the Rumble, and then I assume their plan is Finn Balor's ready. He wins the Rumble. That's my guess. So you have Finn and Owens going into Mania.
Yeah.
That would make your Mania card, whatever they're going to do, probably Cena Styles, H and Rollins, Owens and Balor, Sasha and Bailey, probably Becky, and
Becky, Nikki.
you think Bliss is going to lose the title that fast?
I mean, who knows? Who knows anything with WWE? I never would have figured they would have ping-ponged the women's championship between Sasha and Charlotte as many times as they
That's
did.
the one where I think the only thing they can do with Charlotte that won't piss me off, because I feel like she's been the MVP of the women's side on the main roster, is supposedly they've signed Mickie James to some sort of contract.
Yeah.
Charlotte and Mickie as effectively a contract match. Like if Mickie wins, she goes to Raw, but she ends up losing the match to Charlotte, and then she's like, "Oh, I guess I'm not," and then all the crowd's kind of like, "Oh, please go somewhere," and then you get Daniel Bryan to come out and give her a contract.
Yeah.
Gets the big babyface thing, so that way you have a nice heel moment, but you also get a nice babyface moment. So Mickie comes to SmackDown. That's how I would do it. And then you have a couple spots for mid-carders, but that's a pretty stacked Mania if that's the plan.
Yeah.
Oh, and obviously Bork and Goldberg
Yeah.
3.
All right, guys. So we're just gonna get through this now. Well, I guess because there was a match later on in the night.
Are you about to go into the match that?
All right, but you know what? We'll talk about this little story that unfolded once we get to the match.
Okay.
All right, just because it kind of all.
Oh, the Rufus.
Yeah,
All right.
and all those shenanigans. So, the next match was Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. I mean, we haven't seen them fight in a while, but
Because do you remember the last match they had?
Yeah.
The stipulation that
hmm
that is it. Except it's not.
I think that was more along. That was more along the lines for their feuding. That's what I take from it. Like
Yeah.
whenever they say shit like that, it's like they can fight somewhere along down the line, just a match. But in terms of feuding,
This match needed more Braun Strowman.
yeah, I'm really surprised.
Because that's what I figured was going to be.
Yeah,
Because you could have Braun Strowman come in, destroy Sammy, look like he's going to destroy Kevin. Kevin's like, fuck no. And he's just like, you do you, man. Like, I don't want to fight you and then get the fuck out of there. That way you get the heel heat,
Yeah.
coward Kevin runs. Sammy gets destroyed, so he keeps that whole argument of like, I have to do something about this. And like Mick's like, no, we'll beef up security for your next match. And that's how you keep doing it. It's the
Yeah.
bully chasing the small guy. That's a solid storyline to go with. But
yeah.
it's
So
just like
I can't believe they didn't do that. I was waiting
I'd
for
heard
it.
Braun Strowman had a small injury, but I can't remember what it was, so I don't know if that prevented him. I thought it was something small and stupid, though, if I was correct. I can't remember what exactly it was. But I heard he had something
Heading
going
all over
on.
the place.
Alright, so what's going on now? Is this the match that shall not be named?
I don't know. You mean the one that didn't happen, or
No, the really, really horrible one.
which?
Titus.
Oh no, that's a couple ones later. The barely a match.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well
The Texas Super Death match of Ultimate
well, we'll get there.
Awesomeness.
We'll get there.
I just want to talk about it now because I hated it that
All
much.
right. Well, the
We're just-
tussle in Texas, if you will.
Yeah, alright, so it was shit.
Super build up. All the build up. Nothing happened.
Yeah, it was shit.
The
You're like,
power,
what?
the world's strongest slam, and that was it.
Yeah, Jesus. Like, I don't understand what they see in Titus. Like, I see a lot of people, and they're like, oh, you know, Titus, he just needs a chance, dude. Like, that guy's awesome. He's got a lot of charisma. And I'm like, sure, but he can't fucking wrestle. Like, got all the charisma in the world. Like, put him on commentary then. He's a bajillion fucking times better than a lot of them. He's better than Byron and fucking Otunga. And I don't know about Tom Phillips. Tom has his moments. I like him on NXT, not so much on SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean,
I like him as a straight
SmackDown's
man.
too cluttered.
Yeah.
The three guys is hard enough.
Especially when two of them are color. Like, what? Like,
It just-
Byron has a point on Raw. He's the comic relief kind of guy. He's the guy you got to dump on. Whatever. I get it. But, like, you have, like, JBL and Otunga on SmackDown that just kind of fucks it all up.
Yes, it's not that Tom Phillips is bad. It's just that he just kind of gets.
Him and Morrow are supposed to do the same thing, and it doesn't
Yeah,
really
it
work.
doesn't work.
Especially when you have to compare him to Morrow, and Morrow is really good at his job.
Yeah.
Like, no offense to Tom Phillips, you're not at that level. It's perfectly all right to not
Yeah.
be at that level. Most of their commentators aren't at that level.
No, not at
JR is the only one. It's like JR, Joey Styles, maybe Taz, because I really like some Taz.
Oh yeah,
commentary
Taz. I
at
like
times.
Taz. Yeah.
Mike Tenay. Those are your like commentators
Yeah.
of my lifetime that I could say are on Morrow's level. Like Lawler is on Morrow's level. Just being fair. So all right, let's go back to chronological order. We
All right.
get to skip over the match I hated.
And there was only. Oh no, there was two. There was two. All right. So next up, it was just a little kind of friendly match between Rich Swann and T.J. Perkins. Great match. Great match. Nice little snacky cake match.
Yeah, you know, like your buddies wrestling, and it kind of put a little bit of flavor out there.
Yeah.
A little chum in the water for some future shark matches.
Yeah, and they've been talking, you know, like they said on 205 Live, you know, they had a little thing, you know, because TJ, you know, he wants to.
Well, TJ's owed a rematch. He never got his rematch.
Yeah, that's something they never really talked about.
So
I mean, so yeah, what's really to say? If it's,
I think there's enough heat out there for TJ's kind of like goofy geek boy gimmick. I think you could make it work heel.
yeah,
Because I think
totally.
like TJ's trying to do the same thing. Like he's trying to bite into the same cake as New Day,
Mm-hmm.
and people like New Day more. So like, I feel like him as just like too cool for school, kind of like edgy douchebag,
Yeah.
hipster video gamer, like douche nozzle.
Yeah.
That could be a good gimmick for him.
Yeah,
Or he's just like he thinks he's so cool, and he's just like.
it's like,
But it's kind of, you got a good combination like hipster bitch boy,
yeah,
and like I think that's a great gimmick to work.
yeah. I think that'd be good too. So again, guys, hard to really say anything bad about this match. Rich Swann's really good. TJ's really good.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is Bayley versus Alicia Fox. This match was meh.
Match was good.
It was. I thought it was all right.
Storyline wise, it's like
I don't understand. Like, are they really all right? So the whole spiel is Alicia Fox is now apparently later in the week we'll find out is according to according to Corey Graves and his reliable sources say that, you know, Alicia Fox and Cedric Alexander are now dating, and Bayley has these new teddy bears. She gave one to Cedric, and that rustled up Alicia Fox's jimmies a little bit.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
Yeah,
You know.
and that's kind of like her gimmick. She's kind of a crazy lady.
Yeah, I could see Alicia working a crazy girlfriend gimmick. She's baby crazy. She's getting a little older. You know, she wants some babies put in her. So yeah, she's smelling some like predatory women moving in on her man. You gotta get him out of there. It makes sense. Good gimmick. Another guy who's pretty much the best thing on Raw. He also kind of had a similar gimmick on the night, but he took care of business. Goddamn, we'll get to that later. So yeah, I didn't have any issue with this. I wonder how they can kind of work it in a story, unless they're going to give Bayley like a guy friend. Because Lucha has the great thing with Sexy Star and the Mac, where they're just friends, but they're two people. So like something like that might work. Got a good idea. If you're gonna do the New Day thing we had talked about, maybe it was last week or the week before, kind of like splitting them up for a little bit and just kind of letting them. Like they're still kind of together, but they're doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier could be the Mac
Yeah.
for Bailey. Like they definitely seem to get along. They've been in a few different vignettes in the back talking with each other. She's been on Up, Up, Down, Down. So you do Xavier and her against Cedric and Alicia Fox.
Yeah.
I think that's a solid little foursome. You could have some good matches with it. And I think Xavier should be in the cruiserweight division. I don't know where
Yeah.
he sits weight wise, but fuck it.
And you know what? If it would be awesome if they did that, and then they could have. Obviously, New Day has to get rid of the titles for a little bit. You know, come back whenever they get the championships back. He comes in and he becomes the cruiserweight champion.
Yes, you have.
That just explodes like they're whatever you want to do. It would be hilarious whatever they decide to do, but so yeah, work on it. Work on.
I think that's a strong little force in there to work around. I think
Yeah.
because I think WWE needs to put some more of its stars who aren't in the cruiserweight division into the cruiserweight division. I think
absolutely.
Sammy, God damn it, should go to
Sammy,
cruiserweight.
Neville,
Xavier.
Xavier.
Those three great guys.
I mean, shit. Just throw fucking. Put Kalisto in there some more. Put Sin Cara in there some more. Just
Scar's done a couple cruiserweight matches.
not. I mean, just saying on 205 Live.
Oh yeah. I think
just
you
to
kind
kinda-
of get some star power going.
Yeah, just whoever you just sprinkle it in there. Just get it going. All right. Yeah, we just did the whole,
To be fair, I would put Kevin Owens on 205 Live and let him just be like such an asshole. It's like I'm the Universal Champion. This is in the WWE Universe. Open challenge. I'm the real champion. Fuck you, Rich Swann.
That would be awesome.
And then Rich Swann beats him on 205 Live. That's a great gimmick.
That
and
would
he's
be
just like,
awesome.
I wasn't ready. I didn't get to train. I didn't realize. I thought it was Brian Kendrick. I was training. I don't watch this crappy show. I only watch Monday Night Kevin Owens show.
This isn't the Kevin Owens show. I didn't know what the heck was going on.
Yeah.
This guy comes out of nowhere. I thought I was talking to Brian Kendrick. And then I just lose my championship.
I wouldn't take his championship. Just both champions, just the champions pride match. Who's the real champion? I think Rich Swann wins. I don't even care if he took the kick in the face and Kevin rolled out of the ring and like Rich Swann wins by count out.
Yeah.
Could work. Whatever. I just think that'd be something funny. Yeah, it's a little bit more.
The win doesn't count because it didn't happen on the Kevin Owens show.
Yeah. And that could be a great.
How's
gimmick.
my Kevin Owens impression? Like I don't think I've ever done it before, and like I just started doing like, because I know my voice sounds different to you slightly than it is to me.
It works. You got the French Canadian accent now.
And I am 50% French Canadian on my mother's side, so I don't
Good
know.
shit.
Maybe it comes in from that.
But yeah, I don't remember like how this started out, but yeah, cruiserweight do better work. Oh, what was the next match?
All right, so let's see. We
Overtime
did
from-
the Titus O'Neil thing, Tucson, Texas. Then we had Kevin Owens' second gift to Chris Jericho, which was a match versus Roman Reigns for the United States Championship.
Which I really felt they should have put on Jericho to put a little bit more like you want to go into the pay-per-view assuming Roman is going to win.
Right.
That's just the way you'd want to book it. And everybody's like, oh, he's already got a title. I don't think he's going to win this one too. If he loses the title, it's like, oh, hey, look at that. They're opening up the door for him. So then if he loses both, then you can have Chris and Kevin cutting these asshole promos back and forth like best friends, all the championships, yay, kind of thing. And like that could prolong that for a couple weeks if you wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Like I was really surprised that they had Roman go over. But I guess they probably know they want Roman to lose and they don't want him to look weak at the very end of it.
Right.
Have to point out, since Roman picked up the title from Rusev, where would you put the stock in the title? Between the U.S. Championship stock.
Oh, that's a good question.
Would you say it's raised since Roman took it from Rusev?
I don't think it's really gone much anywhere, to be perfectly honest.
You think it's about worth the same as when Rusev?
I'd say so.
Because I liked Rusev because he did feel like a fighting champion.
Yeah.
Like every week he was coming out wrestling somebody else and he was beating them. And he almost always had the title on the line, right?
Yeah.
Well, like, Roman really has it. Like, who's Roman defended the title against since becoming the champion? Rusev? Jericho? I honestly can't remember any of those.
Yeah, I can't remember anybody else.
Because he didn't defend it at Survivor Series because he was in the match, which was weird because they had the IC title up for grabs. But I guess Raw was like, hey, we want him in the main event. So, I don't know. All right, it's
all right, guys.
Time for the Ballad of Rusev, by the way.
All right, so earlier in the night, they haven't done something like this in a while, so I was kind of into it.
And they did a good job of being like, which way are they going to go with this? Because at one point I was like, no, you can't have Lana cheat on Rusev.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're going to have Rusev murder Big Cass.
Yeah.
That's the only way it works.
All right, so basically, it's those. You guys probably saw it, but
all right.
First, for the sake of, in case you haven't, Enzo Cass are talking. Lana and Rusev are yelling at each other. Enzo's like, "Hey, you shouldn't be talking to a lady like that." Bada boom.
The realest guys in the room. Look at my shoes. And then Lana's like, "Take your ring, Rusev." And he's just like, "Okay." Rusev goes smash over there. So Rusev leaves. Yeah, Lana.
She's a little distraught, Enzo's just being a nice guy, he's just
a little creepy. A bit creepy with. Alright, if Enzo was hitting on your wife like that, you wouldn't be cool with it.
No, I mean, I totally get it,
I'm still on the how is Enzo a good guy in this thing. Like, I understand they went a little bit better this week of like Rusev was acting like an abusive husband.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's not like, oh, your husband's kind of abusive to you. Let me come to your hotel room and soothe you with my cock.
I know. Like, he was like as soon as she said, she come to my hotel, and he was like, hey.
Hey, boo-boo. Want to get a little bit of your picnic basket. Alright, it was really weird, though, like, the way they changed it throughout the night of being like, I should do this, but I shouldn't, because I'm a good guy, but also, hey, I'd like to fuck Lana. But, hey, Rusev will murder me.
And then he gets there and he's like, no, I can't do it. He turns around and she's already there,
Yeah, and she's all sexy, and Enzo's like, all right, we got to talk about
even less clothes than...
So we get to the hotel, and we have the old...
No, it's the match started first.
Oh, yeah. All right, so...
It was supposed to be,
Big Cass versus Rusev.
So, like, earlier in the night, Rusev's trying to figure out where Lana is. I'm trying to figure out where the hell all this excess hair is coming from Sugar.
All right, I'll tell you later, dicking with that. All right, so pretty much I'll run you guys through it. So you had the fight. Now you have another scene where like Rusev's running around in the back, and it's just him and Big Cass. And he's like, "Have you seen Lana?" And like, Cass was kind of an asshole for no particular reason to Rusev. So Rusev challenges him to a match. So you're like, all right, they're gonna fight, and that leaves like an opening for this Enzo-Lana love triangle thing to happen. So Big Cass comes out first, and he's getting in the ring, and then Rusev's music hits, and he goes to come out. And the music goes on, and Big Cass, gotta say, did a good job of emoting with his face of like, oh shit, I see what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, he did a really good job of that, because a lot of guys would have just been like, and then like got out of the ring, and they're like, I need a phone.
And then it hits him, like, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah,
like I can remember like when he was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, like he did a good job emoting with his face. To say, like, the thought popped into his head of what's going on. He tried to call Enzo. And
he goes into the crowd. And...
Well, he got the phone from the bell guy.
Oh, right.
So he's dialing his buddy, and he's like, pick up. And they did a good job, because like, at first I was like, please don't put a microphone in his face or something like that. But they just pulled the camera in. So I think he did a good job of selling it without everybody in the crowd being able to hear what he's trying to do. Like, you could obviously look at the Titantron and be like, oh, shit, Rusev's not here.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, Enzo's with Lana.
Enzo is going to die.
I still wish they would have done it, like, a little bit better. All right, so now let's get to the, you have Enzo kind of like happy-go-lucky walking towards Lana's room, but at the same time kind of being like, oh no, this could be a bad thing, which was just kind of weird and confusing. Like, either you're into it or you're not. Like, shades of gray just didn't work in this kind of thing. So then Lana shows up and, I don't know what to call that thing. Sex. She was wrapped in human sexuality.
She looks like sex.
So yeah, she's doing like her poses. She's pulling it like way up her leg and bending over.
And Enzo is just trying to fight the power
So
the best he could, but he just he could not.
So Lana gets him to strip down to his underwear, and I was kind of hoping they would do this scene just a little better, because this is how I would have shot it. Is like Lana does all that, and he's just like, she does like the close your eyes thing, and you just see like two enormous fucking Rusev, and he's just like, you got some rough hands there, babe, and then like Rusev just spins him, and holy shit, did Rusev beat the piss out of him. He was throwing him like all around. I think he smacked his head against the ground a good 3 or 4 times. He was pretty rough.
Looked like he was a corpse. And of course, the piece de resistance at the end, Rusev drags him out. Lana closes the door, but then she opens the door and puts the "Do Not Disturb" sign.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been funny if after that you just hear more Rusev grunts.
Yeah, like Rusev should just yell.
Let's go, let's
go. All I wanted was Rusev to be like, Rusev Machka. Like, that would have been great. Also not PG, but it would have been amazing.
Nothing about that was really PG.
It was a great thing, though. So, yes, apparently they were going to have nasty monkey sex all over Enzo's discarded clothing while he dies slowly outside.
He just bleeds out.
Alright, so the obvious thing is they're going to feud Big Cass and Rusev. How is Cass the babyface? Like, I'm just, like, in my head trying to picture this. Like, you can't even be like, oh, well, you know, Rusev's bigger, so he's kind of like a bully. But, like, no. Enzo kept hitting on his wife. And you can't even be like, oh, well, Rusev is kind of an abusive husband. No, he was faking it for this setup. It's not like it popped into his head later. Like, he wasn't there to like set this all up later on. Like, all you really have is Enzo walking around in the back, came up to Rusev's wife and was just like, hey, my dick's hanging out. For no reason, because no fucking story on the face of the earth makes sense unless, like, he was showering in the gutter outside and then was going to go into the locker room like they didn't have hot water at whatever arena they were at. Like, I just don't understand where the gimmick is, or where the storyline's trying to go. Like, the only thing you can have is Big Cass is kind of like, it's kind of like when you have that asshole kid, but he's got a tough friend. Like, that's kind of what you have set up here. Like, there's no way that Rusev is the bad guy. Like, even,
they're funny kids.
like, obviously that was booked to be the heel thing to do.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. Like, I think it's about time you just turn Rusev face. Let him just be Rusev, and he gets booed.
Even just have like, even if he's just in that gray line.
Yeah, like I would stop booking him like a character heel. That's all you have to do. Just let him be whatever he wants to be.
Yeah, just let him be that guy, or it's like if you piss him off, he is going to fuck you up.
Yeah, just let him be a monster.
You know, just he doesn't necessarily have to be in the wrong all the time.
Well, like, when was the last time Rusev did something truly dastardly heel?
Yeah.
He doesn't like America? I don't know
That's
how
the last
to
thing,
you.
but...
There's a lot of people around the world that don't like America. It's gonna be fair.
So after that, it was Club versus Cesaro and Sheamus. This basically was a throwaway match. Not much to really talk about. It just set up for the triple threat.
And a good excuse for the New Day to lose the title or make it look like it's more perilous but keep it on anyways.
Yeah.
I assume with the lawsuit between Demolition and the WWE, wouldn't be surprised if WWE just gonna be an asshole about it and take Demolition's record. Plus, I think at a certain point you have to kind of admit the New Day do deserve it. Even if I don't particularly view them as over right now, there's definitely a large percentage of the crowd that is very much into them. Absolutely. I'm not, but hey, that's just me. I'm not the entire crowd, so I don't really have an issue with it. I know a lot of people are kind of like, they're bored by it and they don't like records being broken.
Yeah, Cesaro and Sheamus are looking particularly good. Obviously, they have gotten past the point of squabbling in the ring, and they're working as a good tandem team. So,
I think they need to come up with like some sort of entrance for the two of them to come out.
Yeah,
because it's like weird that they have the feuding entrances if they're not feuding still.
Exactly.
Like, it was a good thing with the Odd Couple feuding gimmick, But I feel like they need
Now
to
that-
come up with something.
Yeah, now that they're on the same page.
I feel like they should, like, Shamo comes out in the dark and he's already in position. Cesaro does his little walk James Bond thing, and then they meet in the middle, and the whole screen turns white, and then
Yeah.
Sheamus gets to do his like "rah" thing. Because
Yeah.
Cesaro's music sucks, dick. Like I would keep the opening to Cesaro's thing.
Like, doo, 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 and then
Yeah, and then
Goes-
immediately go into the Sheamus
Yeah.
music, and that's how I would do the entrance.
yeah.
Or even a brand new song for the two of them. I don't really care, but just something that isn't Cesaro's music. Because Cesaro's music's horrible.
Wouldn't be so bad if the siren didn't play throughout the entire fucking thing.
Well, it's like generic background music with a siren.
Yeah.
It's just bad.
Yeah.
Bad music.
Alright, so, final thing of the night. Charlotte supposedly giving a nice heartfelt apology to her father, Ric Flair.
I honestly, if they're not going to do the match I suggested next week, I don't care. That's generally my thoughts on it. There's only one place this match can, or this thing could go, and it's Flair versus Flair.
Yeah.
But I don't think WWE has the balls to do it.
No.
So prove me wrong, or I don't care.
And obviously this was a way for Charlotte to get all the heat, slapping her father,
Beating up Sasha.
and then Sasha coming in, and she gets her ass beat. So good on you, giving Charlotte. She's just one of the best heels. Period.
Yeah.
Like male, female, doesn't matter what company. You'd be hard pressed to find a better heel than Charlotte Flair.
Yeah,
It's
I would say
just-
the only heels under the alright, out of the pro wrestling I watch, which is generic shit from around like the world, wherever I see clips, lucha, in the shit that's under WWE's banner. That's just what I generally watch day to day. I would put Bobby Roode.
Actually, you know what, let's save it. We'll save it, and we will actually start making lists. Well, we'll actually do some videos later on.
Maybe we got an end of year thing. That might be a nice little list video.
Yeah, you know, because we haven't done any of those yet, and I've been thinking about doing some. You know,
But I'll
But,
still kind of
yeah,
give a
we'll
little
save
flavor. I would say the only heels in WWE right now that I think are better than Charlotte, Strowman, Bobby Roode.
yeah,
Maybe my boys, the Revival, but I'm very
Yeah.
biased. But other than that, like,
no, I mean they're great
she is
heels.
amazing at her job, and she deserves to.
She's
be
gonna
that.
go down in history as the best
I think she already is.
woman
If you ask me.
heel of
I'm-
all time.
I'm not a nostalgic kind of person. It's just never something that's really blind to me. I think there's not really an argument
No,
on the main roster. Charlotte is the best woman they've ever had.
not absolutely.
I don't think you can make an argument, unless you want to really make the argument of time served to give it to Moolah. I don't think there's really an argument
Yeah,
otherwise. I think she's better in ring than Trish or Lita. She's better on the mic than either of them ever were. Short of time, I don't really see an argument. And if that's your
No,
argument,
absolutely.
it's fair enough. You want to say she hasn't had enough time yet to really be able to make that claim? Fine. Or she's in a better era? Also fine.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think Charlotte is, other than Braun Strowman, the best thing on Raw.
Yeah.
And then followed by Rusev. Like, if those three weren't on Raw, I wouldn't watch Raw. Like, there's nothing. After those three, there's like a nice cliff I jump off of to CrossFit Jesus, and then it's like a fucking hole in the earth. And that's everything else on Raw. Like, maybe with 205 expanding, it'll kind of open that up and give me some more shit. But
Yeah.
honestly, there's so much I don't give a shit about.
Yeah. Alright guys, moving right along to some SmackDown talk. Alright, obviously it opens up with AJ talking about, the most, he views as the most controversial spot of the night being his ripped pants.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's a good little subversion.
As soon as he was like, some people thought it was a travesty. Some people thought it was a godsend. I'm like, oh my god, he's talking about his ass hanging out, isn't he? And lo and behold,
I did see a lot of female fans that were quite excited for AJ's posterior. I think a lot of people think AJ's a lot younger than he actually is.
yeah.
Because he does have
Yeah.
a very youthful face.
Yeah. Oh my god! And of course,
Closer to 40 than he is 20. Let's
Yeah.
just put it that way. Dude.
and of course, Ellsworth comes out and he's saying, "I got your number." And he's like, "Hold on, man. If you thought I was gonna beat you up, Dean Ambrose is gonna kill you." and without missing a beat, fucking Dean comes out, just walking the walk. He just comes out. Ellsworth puts out his hand and gets a dirty deed for his troubles, and then Dean just walks back out. I thought that was amazing. I just thought it was fantastic. It was great. Also, did you notice that Dean is now in a fucking jeans commercial?
No.
Yeah, I can't remember what.
It makes sense.
It was on SmackDown. It was for Wrangler, and I'm just like, oh my god, that's fucking perfect. So, I'm surprised we haven't seen that sooner. So, yeah, that was an awesome promo. Getting right along into the first match of the night, which was a rematch for the tag team titles. This was solid. It was okay. I didn't think it was bad.
Yeah.
We did get the new Wyatt family finisher, which was pretty awesome, I gotta say. I enjoyed it.
You want to explain it to
Alright, so Bray had Heath ready for the Sister Abigail, and he basically just tosses him to Randy, and Randy gives him the RKO. I thought that was awesome. Again, puts them in a tandem. They are the Wyatt family, and now they have like a good, solid team combo attack, which is just great.
You know what I want Harper and him to use, though? Is a wheelbarrow RKO. Because Harper's big enough he can hit on anybody.
Oh, yeah.
So he gets him, picks him straight up, and while they're like chin back, it sets Randy up perfectly to hit the RKO.
Yeah.
So I was kind of hoping they would use for a finisher, because I think it'll look devastating, especially with the timing
yeah.
Randy has.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Absolutely.
like, Harper's got good timing, too, so you would get like some real nasty looking ones where you just drop them face first, or make it look like they drop face first.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
Alright, then we had what was supposed to be Carmella versus Natty.
Actually, I want to ask you before we move on.
Oh.
Who do you think takes the titles off the Wyatt? Do you think it's an internal breakup that strips them of the titles? 'Cause
No,
you think
no.
it's American
I
Alpha?
think it's got to be American Alpha, or who knows. If it's not American Alpha, I have no God-given idea who could
So
possibly
not the
be.
Hype Bros?
I doubt it's the Hype Bros.
Alright. So,
Probably not Brizongo.
I wonder how long they're going to keep American Alpha as a tag
Oh, wait, Brizongo's... They're on SmackDown, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. That's...
SmackDown has all the best tag teams. If they're good, they're on SmackDown. Other than the New Day. And I'm just being fair to their fans. I'm not a New Day guy, but hey, I can't say they're not good.
I don't know if you can see this, guys. I know it's kind of a shine over there, but you can tell this is a New Day house. Because my wife, she loves the New Day. So, it's where my cereal
Box of
box
Oreos.
that I had from... It's empty, by the way. I ate them, you know.
Yeah.
I like my Walmart brand Lucky Charms.
Are you going to get the Christmas box?
No.
Just the standard?
It's the same thing! Didn't even bother to change the fucking marshmallows!
I thought they had one new marshmallow. Like a
No.
special Christmas marshmallow.
No!
Like a happy
I actually went to FYE and they have all their stuff. They had the new boxes and shit.
Wow.
So I even looked to see if it was any different. It's the same goddamn thing.
Shame. Alright, so let's continue on.
All right, so what was supposed to be Carmella versus Natty. Carmella starts talking more shit. She does a little thing. Natty comes out, chases her into the back where she loses her somehow.
That is a very large curtain. I assume what had happened was Carmella, as she went through it, pulled a ninja move of pulling it around her and then standing still. So she's actually inside and just standing still. So Natty didn't see her. So that's why Natty was standing still at the beginning, because she was like, what direction do I move in? I've completely lost my prey. And Carmella just ninjaed herself into the like a cloak in the night.
And of course she comes face to face with Nikki, and she's just kind of like, Nikki, you can't believe her.
Why would Nikki believe her?
I know. The only thing is that
I feel like if Hitler came back in time and was like, "Hey, you remember that time you really stubbed your toe and it hurt?" Travis puts that shit there. And I'm just like, well, why else would Hitler come through time to tell me this? If it wasn't actually Travis. But he also is Hitler. I think I'll trust Hitler on this one. It's really weird. Like, you're the number one person you hate the most, and supposedly her bestie, Natty, apparently.
Yeah. So, I mean, she's clearly she's buying in the fact that Carmella's like, why would I lie about beating you up when that's something I enjoy?
I mean, I get
So
it, but it's like,
I mean, that's the only reason I can think of. But who knows? I really don't care.
Yeah.
So next up, we had a little match between the Ascension and Hype Bros. Not a bad.
what did you think of Connor's new makeup? Because I've seen some people shitting on it. I personally really like it.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I thought it was cool looking.
Yeah.
I kind of want Victor to go with a full face of makeup.
Yeah.
Because he has like the half. He's a full face. I dig the Ascension. I think they're cool.
I really hope that they'll start putting them.
That's the thing. Like, part of me wants them to get a push, but at the same time, I don't want them to become Raw, where every tag team is equal in value and everybody's the same.
That's true. It's so hard to do that.
You need to have some sort of, like, who would I have? Like, I'm a big component of bringing in jobber tag teams when people, so that these people don't feel that weak. Like, oh, the Ascension can never win. You bring in fucking Scooter and Jim Bob Jenkins, and they come in, they're like, look at us. Then you have the Ascension come out and fucking murder them.
Yeah. And it's especially because the Ascension, they were already established as great tag teams, and now they're jobbers.
Yeah. So you need to have some of these matches where your lower card guys can start to feel like a badass again, so it means something when somebody beats them. Because right now it's like,
and they were the NXT champs, weren't they?
They were the most dominant tag team in NXT.
And now they're jobbers.
So yeah, I would say bring in your Jimbos, your fucking Slagoos.
They were what American Alpha was before they left.
It would be closer to saying they were what the Authors of Pain were.
Yeah. They were even better, like in terms of...
Yeah, like they were monsters in the tag team.
It's just so crazy to think.
I honestly think that somebody in the back didn't watch NXT and thought that, like, they were trying to be, like, going into business for themselves when they were cutting all those promos on, like, old school tag teams. And, like, it offended somebody who's a complete idiot. And I won't name names, but I kind of have a guess who it might have been. But I don't want to put them on blast. But seeing some of their other tweets when it comes to, like, obvious kayfabe and them taking offense to it, if that gives you a hint, you can kind of guess who I think it is, too. Like, I think, that's probably the person that really hurt them. So, I still have faith. I think you bring in some goober tag teams from around the world. Just some indie guys that come in their little bicycle shorts and whatever, and they get murdered by the Ascension, by the Vaudevillains, by Breezango. All these tag teams that could really just use a win. And it lets us know, hey, what is the Ascension's finisher again? We haven't fucking seen it in a year and a half. Because they never win. Like, they get to hit on somebody and absolutely murder them. Because that's the wonder of bringing in a jobber. Like, that's my biggest issue with James Ellsworth. They were like, oh, people dug this. Let's make him a star. And I'm like, all right. But then all of a sudden they stopped bringing in jobbers. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Or enhancement talent. I don't see, like, the fucking issue in calling him a jobber, in all honesty. Like, your job is to come in and do a job. Cool. It's kind of like some people are offended by the term journeyman. Like AJ Styles, before he came to WWE, was a journeyman. He hadn't really reached the success in the mainstream because there was really only one mainstream. Now he's not a journeyman anymore. Bobby Roode would be a perfect example of a journeyman. Somebody's really good, he's going to have good matches with everybody you bring in, but if you ask most people, they don't know who Bobby Roode is. It's just a fact. But once he gets to the main roster, you're no longer a journeyman. Bob Holly, another example of somebody who was on the main roster. Perfect example of a journeyman. Bob Holly had a great career. Journeyman doesn't mean something bad. I'm off topic.
Alright, so next up we had Miz TV with his guest Dean Ambrose. How great of a gimmick is the Miz Participation Award?
Oh, my dick was physically hard. I was like, this is amazing. Like, Miz is so good right now. Like, if
Miz
he keeps this
is-
consistently, he might bump Rusev off my list of the big three heels right now. Miz was
Well, I mean,
so
Miz,
good in that
he's on
promo.
my list, dude. Like, I love the Miz.
Like, this
I-
was
I-
among the best
His
promos I've heard in a long
dicketry
time.
is second to none. Like, it's... And he's been talking about shit like that for all... And they finally decided to make it a thing, and it's fucking awesome. Just...
So I'm not going to take credit for it because the first person I ever heard about was Soul Monster talking about it. What would you think of them booking Daniel Bryan versus Miz for WrestleMania, but it's an 18-second match? Like, they recreate the Sheamus Daniel Bryan match. So literally all it's going to be, you get your two entrances. Miz turns to get a kiss from Maurice. As he turns back, gets the psycho knee to the side of the head. Daniel
Yep.
Bryan pulls him to the center of the ring, pins him. Maurice is just flipping out. And that's Daniel Bryan's revenge.
Yeah.
Beats Miz at WrestleMania.
I can see it.
I'd even have him take the title, and he opens up a title match after, and that way you can kind of bring in all these people,
Yeah.
you know, and put up, like, Miz.
That way you can even
puts up
get
his
somebody
title.
like Dolph Ziggler to come
Yeah.
in for, like, the title.
Yeah, it's a great match. I think that's the best. I hadn't heard them talk about the title, but the idea of if Miz wins, Daniel Bryan's not the GM, so it's like, oh, that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense because Daniel Bryan can't be hurt really in the match.
Right.
You know, so you could have Daniel sell the head injury easily. Like, he doesn't have to take a whole lot of a beating, and Miz's finisher is the figure four, so it has nothing to do with concussions.
Yeah.
Nothing really Miz does that's super oriented at the head, minus, like,
Well, the skull crushing finale.
it is his, like, kneeling DDT, but both of them are very, very safe moves.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to get hurt on those. So, and you have Daniel Bryan not do any of his crazy shit he does.
Mhm.
So, like, you could have a very, like, in my head, you could have a safe match if you wanted to, but knowing WWE, they wouldn't want to do that. But an 18-second match, or whatever it turns out to be,
Yeah.
I would try to beat 18 seconds, so Miz has that great heel accolade of being the guy who was beaten on WrestleMania the quickest.
Yep.
Like, literally, turn, knee, roll up. Ding, ding, ding. And it's like, how fast was that, Maggle? And then, you know, whatever, and you get to be like... the Miz-
17 seconds, like, just beat it by
Yeah,
1
and you
second.
just have, like, crying Miz in the ring. Daniel Bryan gets to celebrate with the title.
Yep.
And then somewhere down the night, or even that SmackDown following Mania, you have to have a open tournament for
Yep.
the match. So he's like, I'm actually retired now. You know, I'm just going to vacate the title. Whoever wins it. And Miz, I'm going to be so nice to you. You get a bye in the first round. You were the former champion. I'm going to be nice to you.
Yeah.
But that's where you can get in Dolph, you can get Apollo, you can get all these guys that aren't really doing anything on
Yeah.
SmackDown. Swagger. Like, all these guys can have a shot in this tournament and do something. And have, like, real matches. That's what I would do. But, yeah, Miz, amazing. Wasn't that big on Dean's promo. Just kind of like, I'll beat you up.
And it's the same as all of his promos.
Yeah.
So, after that little spiel, we would get our main event, which we will get to later. This next match, there was no point to it existing. Kalisto versus Baron Corbin. Why the fuck did it exist? Kalisto didn't turn heel. He didn't try to cheat. He didn't do anything to, like, make
Fill
this
time.
match different.
This should have been Baron Corbin versus a 205 guy.
Yeah.
Like, just you should have had Sin Cara. Like, he begged Daniel Bryan for a match to, and like I would have had like him and Kalisto in the back talking. And he's like, you know, I had to beg Mick Foley to let me do this. I had to beg, you know, Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. Like, I wanted to defend my friend. Like, what he's doing, and he's like
Yeah.
being such an asshole. And then he also kills Sin Cara.
Yeah.
Like, or anybody else that's on 205 that you're not trying to build up right now.
Yeah.
Just have him be a big bully character. Or really anybody. Like, you have enough people there that you could find somebody for Baron Corbin to kill, and then you get to advance the storyline of, hey, Baron Corbin wants a title. I don't know how you move him into the title picture, because SmackDown is all heel champs.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, the easiest thing to do is turn AJ face, but they
Yeah.
most likely want to do AJ Cena.
Oh yeah, they're gonna wait for AJ. Like it's gonna come, but it's gonna be a little while.
Yeah. So.
Right. So next
I
up,
just don't understand what they're gonna do with him.
next up we had Nikki Bella and some kid. Do you know who that was?
I honestly thought it was like a Make-A-Wish. Was she?
No, I think she's a celebrity of some variety. I think.
Is she a little? I don't want to be offensive.
Let's just
Skip it before I get myself in trouble.
I watched Puppet. I watched King Ross. Nobody knows who this kid is.
I honestly thought it was a Make-A-Wish.
I don't know.
Just, I thought she was like, you know,
All right,
special.
moving right along. Moving right along.
Just a little bit special.
Moving along. We had Chad Gable versus Tyler Breeze. How'd you like this match?
It's one of those matches where everything I really liked, but I kind of wish it was just a tag match.
Right.
I can dig them if they're going to go with that as a feud, as kind of like the warm-up thing for American Alpha, and let the Wyatts kind of do a little bit of cooling, because I think you have to burn off the speculation of Randy turning.
Right.
So if you let it just kind of simmer for a while, you kind of burn that shit off. And that way, American Alpha is going to beat Breezango, but Breezango are both really good. They're light enough for Jason Jordan to just whip around,
Yeah.
but they're also technical enough so you can have these great technical showdowns.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, those are two guys. If you want to do a warm-up match, and again, being the guys that build the guys to go up and move on, not a bad thing. You know, ask Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
He had a pretty good career, I'm just going to say it. Being the guy who builds the guys, not a bad thing to be. So,
Speaking of which, we still haven't. I don't know if you've checked it out, but I still haven't checked out Storytime yet.
no.
I've been meaning to. Like, I think it could be really funny.
One of these days I'll remember it's on there, and I'll check it out.
We'll have to check it out sometime soon. But especially with all the other, we don't want this show going too long. So it's usually over an hour whenever we do it. So next up, you had an Alexa Bliss promo. Just her being her little celebration, you know, with all the pyro and all that shit.
Worked good for her. I kind of like her gimmick of kind of being the little girl, and she had like a little girl party without being like overtly like super childish.
Yeah, but she's still kind of a brat. You know?
Yeah, like she seems like a spoiled kid.
Yeah.
Like, you know what she reminds me
Adult
of? Like,
Angelica.
exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Adult Angelica for the Rugrats. Like, that's kind of her gimmick. Like, she got everything she ever wanted, and now it's like confetti and fireworks. I'm the best. And like Dexter's just like, fuck you, you dirty cunt.
Whatever the PG version of that is. Alright, so yeah, it was a nice little promo. You know, still sets up for a good feud. These are my two favorite ladies in the WWE right now, so I'm invested. Finally, we had the main event, Dean Ambrose versus The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. If you know how WWE works, you knew Dean isn't going to win this. So that kind of took the punch out of the match for me.
Yeah.
You knew one way or another Dean wasn't going to win.
I wasn't really into this match. Like,
Yeah.
if you have a match that doesn't mean anything, it's kind of hard to get behind it.
Exactly. Like, if...
Like, you could kind of tell no matter what happens, nothing important is happening in
Yeah.
this match. But it does make me wonder if AJ did hurt something at the pay-per-view with him not doing anything on the show.
Oh, I mean, yeah, he definitely had a foot injury.
Yeah,
He was wearing the boot.
yeah. So, well, I mean,
I mean,
'cause, you know,
they could
sometimes-
always...
yeah,
they could always...
they're
But he
kayfabing it up. But
he
I
had
think,
an actual injury.
but I wonder where it happened. I don't know if it was
Yeah.
jumping off a ladder. Could have been the 450 to the outside.
Probably.
So yeah, you just wonder about stuff like that. Because I think they probably were planning to do the title match,
Yeah.
and then they just kind of threw together Dean and Miz.
Yeah, I think it's... You gotta do what you gotta do, but...
But yeah, for a thrown together match,
It wasn't a
not
bad
a
match.
bad match. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just saying...
I think Dean and Miz have better chemistry than Dean and AJ.
You know what? I agree. I think they did a really good job. I think it was a great match, and I'd like to see more, because I know you're not a big Dean guy, but...
I would have no issue with Dean going for the IC championship. I just don't
I
think
think-
he's the face of the company.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think top or mid top. How do you say that?
Yeah, he's the top.
Upper middle.
the
Upper middle
gatekeeper.
card. Upper middle.
I'd call him the gatekeeper. Like, he's like in that Rick Rude spot where
Right.
you're not going for the title, but generally speaking, you're going to win matches.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good game spot.
Maybe every once in a while they'll give you the title, but you're not going to be holding on for it for too long. It's just not where you belong.
Yeah, I just don't think he's the guy.
Yeah.
I think that's just it. Like, I just don't see him as the guy.
And not every wrestler is the guy, you know. It's just
I think you can still have a great career in the mid card. I think like a lot of people
Yeah.
think like,
just because the mid card doesn't mean you're not a well remembered, well loved superstar.
yeah, like, I hate to break it to a lot of you guys, Macho Man for most of his career was a mid carder, and on most people's lists, Macho Man is pretty damn close to the best of all time.
Yeah.
So,
But all right, guys, that is gonna do it for SmackDown.
all right, here's your very, 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 very fast Total Divas. What happened this week? All right, so pretty much nothing. And next week you're going to get some Lana Rusev. Like, the only thing that can really be said about this week was they kind of started the hint of like, oh, Paige is screwing up. But that was like, it was like just a very little taste of it. And the rest of it was just kind of stupid, fillery, dumb shit. So, kind of Renee match, or a Renee focused show. Which is nice, because, you know, she hasn't really been a star on, like, the past season, so it's just nice to see somebody else and see what they're doing. And, yeah, she wore a thong to open up the entire thing, so that was kind of nice. They were doing surf yoga with her,
of course.
some other woman, and Dean Ambrose. And apparently Dean is pretty good at surf yoga. And luckily for the rest of us, Renee isn't, so she falls off the board, like, ass first at the camera. Good shit. The only reason to watch Total Divas, in my opinion.
All right, guys, we'll catch you in a few seconds with 205 Live. All right, so starting up the show, we had Noam Dar versus Cedric Alexander.
I thought the promo at the end of the match was good, but I wasn't that big into the match.
I thought it was okay. You know, it wasn't the greatest match, but
It was a little too holdy for me.
yeah,
I'm still not seeing the Noam Dar hype, because I see a lot of people that are like,
yeah.
he's one of the best. He's one of the best. Like, their favorite matches are Noam Dar matches. I'm just like, I don't see it. I mean, maybe that's their flavor. It's just not my flavor.
And of course, they were continuing the whole
I don't like
with
Brussels sprouts, but I like asparagus.
they're continuing the Cedric Alexander thing with Alicia Fox, you know. And then Noam Dar picks up the win, and then he dedicates the win to Alicia Fox.
Cedric Alexander's girlfriend. I was like, what the hell did you... Or no, he's like, Alicia Fox. Why would you say it like that? Sound like the fucking Cookie Monster. Like a very, very Scottish Cookie Monster. So, like, if anybody has any problems with Shinsuke promos from now on, and you like Noam Dar, I can understand Shinsuke Nakamura better than I can understand Noam Dar.
Shrek and Cookie Monster
Yeah.
united as one.
He's got, like Mushmouth. Combined with, like, the Cookie Monster's voice. Like, I have no idea, like, what he was saying for part of his promo. Until, like, the rest of it, and, like, it popped into my head in terms of context. Not what he was saying. Like, Jesus Christ.
Alright, so the third match in the Jack Gallagher, Arya Daivari saga happened. Good match, you know, like Arya Daivari, great heel work. You know,
Digging him.
showing that he's a top heel.
I'm going to use this
Excellent
time,
wrestler.
though, good match, and what did you think of the finish? Them renaming the Frog Splash to the Persian line.
I mean, for him, I think it works.
Yeah, I just don't know, like, it's one of those things kind of weird to me, like, when you try to rename something that famous of a move to something else.
Yeah.
I'm alright with it, but it feels weird in my soul.
Yeah.
But I have to give WWE a lot of credit and a big fucking warning. Because like at first I was like, there's no way WWE doesn't pair Arya Daivari and Mustafa Ali. Like they're both Arab, so kind of like how WWE always pairs up like, oh, two random black guys. You're besties now. Rich Swann and Cedric Alexander. Why? Oh, we're not going to say why, but we're going to heavily imply why. They can be a little heavy-handed, so I'm really happy they haven't done it, and goddamn it, don't do it. Let Mustafa Ali be a singles guy. Let him run his actual gimmick that he works of just kind of like a, like, he's a badass, and he's like a former cop, and like that's his gimmick, as opposed to being like, hi, I'm an Arab guy, I'm throwing my fucking turban, and like, oh, fuck America, bombs.
Oh, and once again, Austin Aries is back, so hopefully
on commentary. I thought he was good until the main event, and then he became ungodly annoying. Like I almost muted my television for the main event. Like that's how annoying he was getting to me. Like he was starting to get JBL go away. Like when JBL does a John Cena match, that's how bad Austin Aries was to me during the main event. I thought he was good during the other two matches though.
Just kind of randomly somebody flipped the switch and it was just kind of like,
oh. Like he's like, TJ, you think you're better than me? Like shut up and talk about the match in the ring.
Yeah, it was.
And like it was just like Austin was trying to like goad TJP into like a verbal argument, but like it had nothing to do with the match in the ring. That's for the fucking title.
Yeah, maybe we can cut the guy a little slack. This is literally his second night doing this, so
yeah. But it was just go away, like shut the fuck up, Heat with me. I was just like shut up and talk about the thing going on in the match.
So yeah,
like I understand where Austin was coming from, so I'm not going to 100% blame him. Like he was trying to go for like that Bobby Heenan, I know you're hiding something kind of gimmick, and like TJP wasn't picking up what he was putting it down.
Right.
But I'm also not going to put it on TJP because Austin was just coming across really annoying.
Right.
Like what you should have had, and it's the one weakest part of Morrow's game, is he doesn't have that gorilla instinct, that gorilla monsoon, like, oh, will you stop thing. Like he needed to be the guy to be like, Austin, there's a match going on. Like when we talk about this, and we'll talk about this stuff later.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like you need somebody to step up and kind of shut them both up.
Yeah.
And it should be Morrow, but Morrow's very non-confrontational.
He's like, Canadian.
Well, yeah, but it's kind of like a thing. Like JBL can get too blustery on SmackDown, and like you would just need him to shut JBL up. So I don't know if they need somebody like in the back to be like, shut the fuck up, Austin, and like Morrow grow some balls and say something kind of thing. But like it was just kind of annoying. As far as the match went, pretty good. The turn spot at the end, I thought, didn't really work that well, but I get what they were going for.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, did he really hit him? Probably, but if storyline-wise, it makes no sense.
No.
But in my mind, I can see the argument of like TJP is. I really have a feeling TJP is turning heel. So I think at the end of the day, it's going to turn out that he probably did take the cheap shot.
Could be. I can see
so
it.
We'll see where they're going, and yeah. So I feel like TJP and Rich Swann is probably where they want to go, and then TJP turns heel and gets the title, and then Austin Aries will come back to feud with TJP with Austin as the babyface. And then you have free reign, because I've heard a lot of people say that one of WWE's big plans is Austin Aries, Neville, for the Cruiserweight title, because that's two name value guys.
Yeah.
And you can kind of bring in a lot more of the indie audience that are going to want to see that match, because they're both big names still in the indies.
Right.
So that was 205. We want to roll into. We want to do NXT just to knock out all the WWE stuff. All right.
Alright, so it starts off with DIY coming out with their belts. Everybody, giving you deserve it, and then Officer Payne.
All right, I got to talk about that. Shut the fuck up, crowd. You deserve it. Like, shut up.
Oh, we forgot. SmackDown. Miz was like, "What? No, you. What? No. Well, how come I don't get a you deserve a chant?"
Yeah.
Just like that was pretty spot on.
Yeah, like that is number one. Like I'd rather them bring back the "You suck Cena" chant for Nikki than listen to one more "You deserve a" chant.
Yeah, that gets passed around way too much lately.
Like,
guys, you gotta.
Or he still got it. Like, shut the fuck up. They should kick people out of the crowd that do that.
Yeah.
Like, you are far worse than any, like, horrible... Like, I would rather an actual racist just, like, yelling shit at Rich Swann than have to hear that stupid fucking chant. Like, I hate it with a passion. I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Like, I almost turned off NXT at that point. I was just like... Because I waited a day to watch 205 and then I went straight into NXT. And, like, I was just like... Between Austin Aries and Go Away and then that, like, crowd chant, I was just like, no, fuck you. Maybe they do deserve it, but fuck you, I don't want to hear that chant. It's annoying. Fuck off. If you're going to go there and do that chant, I want you to first walk into traffic.
Alright, so, the Authors of Pain come out, Paul Ellering talks about, you know, how they're gonna, you know, take the titles, and then the Revival come out. They
did a great job of being like...
Yeah. Well, you know, they just kind of sidestep them. And then, like, as soon as, like, they start coming down the ring, they, like, kind of start, oh, shit, we should probably get... And then they just stand, and then they just get pushed to the side.
Right.
So...
I kind of got a feeling they want to get the Revival up to the main roster as fast as possible.
They need it.
I think they're trying to figure out a way to kind of skip the rematch. So I think Authors of Pain beating Revival gives the Revival... Gets the Revival out of NXT.
Yeah.
And then it gives them a good thing. They're like, oh, we were in NXT, but we got screwed down here. Well, we heard, you know, Stephanie, the best McMahon. You know, she wanted the top guys. You know, like, that's a great gimmick to come in and be like, New Day, longest reigning tag champ. Because we weren't here, the top guys. 200 and whatever pounds of southern beef. Like, just cutting like great promos. I think that could be a lot of fun, so I think they want to get them out of NXT very quickly. But, yeah, for a little segment, I thought it was pretty good. Got everybody what they wanted, except for the crowd, because I want them to die.
And then they
individual house fires.
And then they introduced new to the commentary team, previous NXT superstar Percy Watson.
Pound Town. I thought he was okay, but I don't know why they brought him back. I feel like there's other guys you could have put on commentary. Like, because he was released and now they brought him back just to do this. I don't think he's, like, was that good. Yeah. Granted, it's his first week, so I'm not going to be that big a dick to him.
Gotta give him a few weeks to kind of get into it.
But it was just, it's so weird to be like, oh, we released it. It would be like if they brought back Bull Fit there.
Yeah.
It's just like, how would you release him if this is something you wanted to do with him? I don't know.
I miss that guy. Alright, so we had tag team action between No Way Jose and Rich Swann versus Sanity.
Sans Sawyer Fulton. They had his jacket with them, threw it on the ground, they all spit on it, and then threw it out of the ring. And everybody's kind of like, oh, what's going on? Sawyer Fulton had an injury, and I guess he's going to be out for a few months, so that's why they decided to write him out of the angle. Makes sense. I've heard a lot of people that were like, oh, couldn't you come in and like have him just lay on the fucking ground? And it's just like, come up with some sort of reason. So, yo, we have to face him again. Like, you didn't kill him last week, effectively.
Kind of weird. It kind of sucks, but, you know, they literally just started Sanity.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of weird to introduce him, and now he's...
At least it wasn't Eric Young.
Yeah.
Because I think you could lose Nikki, you could lose the other two dudes, either one of them. But you lose Eric Young.
It'd be like losing Bray.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of... You lose the leader, and it's just kind of like...
Yeah.
It's like... It doesn't matter whatever team, like, losing Leonardo and the Ninja Turtles is just like, well, what do we do now?
So, I haven't looked into spoilers for it, but what would you think? Would you rather... Alright, let's just kind of go through the match, and I'll ask that question. Alright, so you pretty much had a pretty standard match, tag team match. Nikki stayed out of it, and this is a different Nikki, not in case you just don't watch NXT, but watch this review for whatever reason. It's not Nikki Bella, her name is Nikki Cross. I think they dropped the Glenn part of her last name, and she's just Nikki Cross. So she's just kind of on the outside, and her whole gimmick is she's kind of a crazy lady. And we'll get to a spot with her that was pretty awesome later on. So, yeah, pretty standard little thing. And then a big goober comes out of the crowd and smashes No Way Jose into the post. And this goober is Big Damo. And commentary committed one of my great sins of building somebody up on a thing that you can't possibly be true. Take a guess how big Big Damo is. They called him one of the largest Leviathans to ever grace the WWE ring. Take a guess how big he is.
I don't know.
6'3". He's shorter than Dean Ambrose. Granted, he's a wide dude, but he's not, in terms of depth, like, as a normal human being, yes, he's a very large person. In WWE, there are larger people just wandering around. He would look downright small compared to Braun Strowman. So I don't know where they're going to go with Damo. He's smaller than Sawyer Fulton. So I don't know. If the name Big Damo sounds familiar, but you can't really remember why, he was the enforcer they had kind of roaming around on the What Culture thing. He ended up doing some of their shows, but now he's signed with WWE. Just in case you were like, oh, I heard that name, but I can't remember where I'd heard it. So curious to see what they're going to do with him. I've heard he's a pretty good wrestler for a big guy. He kind of reminds me of like a smaller Haystacks Calhoun.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of got that face to him and like the way he carries himself. And he eyed the jacket. So here's the question I was going to ask earlier. Would you rather him join Sanity or Sanity remain a 3-person unit?
Honestly, I'm cool either way.
Would you want a tag team of Damo and Wolf?
And I could see it.
Do you want Alexander Wolf, I think is his first name, to just drop the first name and just be Wolf?
Yeah, I can see it. Wolf and Damo.
Yeah, Wolf and Damo as tag team, like looking like Raiders.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they do with them. I still feel like they need to like kind of gimmick up their gimmick a little bit, like to separate each other. Like Eric Young definitely has like the most
gimmick,
the most Raidery of them. So I feel like Wolf needs to add a little bit of fur or something, and like just drop the first name and just go by Wolf. And like I don't know how to do it exactly. Maybe a hood that looks like the top of a wolf's head. Just something where
more of like a barbarian kind of look.
Yeah, well, like I always think like I'm sure they're probably thinking more Mad Max.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking Fallout games. Like what makes the Raiders the Raiders? So like some fur, some chains, stuff like that. Some red paint to simulate some viscera, if you will. So yeah, but I think look-wise they look good. I think getting something on Damo to cover him up because he would look a little goofy with his leather jacket and his big belly sticking out.
Unless they're gonna pull off a Roadhog look.
Could be cool.
Copyright infringement, but yeah. Anyway, moving right along, we had a squash match for Ember Moon against
Kimberly. I wouldn't say
Kimber
this is quite the
Lee.
She's an indie star, so watch.
I actually like the name.
Okay.
I like the name.
I was gonna say, don't watch what you said. she's coming in with a lot of fans. I don't know if she's actually signed a contract or if she's just kind of like what Blue Pants was doing, where she just kind of comes in. Like Leva Bates, Blue Pants is also another indie darling that a lot of people want to see get a contract. I'm super down for them opening it up. I think there's quite a few women out there that I think NXT should bring in despite their ages.
Yeah.
Like, if it was just me, I would keep Kimberly. I would bring in Mia Yim, but I think she has a contract in TNA, I think. I don't know, I haven't watched TNA in quite a while. Lufisto I'd bring in. You would like her gimmick, it's pretty cool. She has a little doll that she talks to. And her gimmick is super hardcore anime. But she's not an Asian one.
Okay. She's a weeaboo.
Yeah, kind of. Like, I would start bringing in some of these women that have worked for quite a while.
Yeah.
If you can get her away from, like, I don't know what her Lucha Underground contract is, but cheerleader Melissa, aka Mariposa. Like, I would look at some of these women that have been wrestling for quite a while and bring them in, because right now NXT's women division could really use some star power right now. I think you have some good talent in there. I think they just kind of need a little bit more time to simmer, and because right now it's Ember.
Mm-hmm.
And all right, so after the match, we're gonna have to talk about it. You had the spot of Asuka and Well, it was Sanity coming through looking for Damo, but you just see the NXT Women's title sitting there, and Nikki staring at it, and then you just see Asuka's hand grab it, and then they kind of like both looked at each other and smiled,
Mm-hmm.
and then Asuka walks off. So kind of hinting like that's where they want to go. Do a little bit more sizzle on Ember, which I
Yeah.
guess I'm all right with, but like Ember and Asuka feels like that's the end goal in my
Yeah.
opinion. So I don't know where they do that match though. I don't know if that's the NXT takeover, whatever it would be the night before WrestleMania. I don't even know where WrestleMania is at this year. Do you?
I think it's back in Florida. I could be wrong, but I want to say it's back in Florida.
So NXT takeover Orlando or whatever the fuck they're gonna be, Jacksonville, Miami, whatever the fuck they're gonna be. Whatever that show is the night before Mania, if that's gonna be Ember Asuka, I still feel like Ember needs a setup move
Right.
for her Eclipse, just because right now it's so obvious when she's going for it and she hasn't missed it yet.
Yeah.
So I feel like you need to at least, because I don't know if it's a move where you can have her miss.
Right.
Like, physically, like, would she fucking kill herself if she missed it? Is she gonna land, like, ass first on the ground and, like, shoot her spine to the top of her head? Like, it's one of those things. It's kind of like I hate suicide dives because WWE doesn't allow them to ever miss. Because that means you have to take the belly flop or go chest and head first towards the barricade yourself.
Yeah.
So every suicide dive 100% of the time misses. So when they're like, it's a high risk move, like, no, it isn't. It can't miss. You literally dive, it misses. We're back with a couple little technical difficulties, but moving on to the NXT main event from Osaka, Japan.
Samoan Joseph versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Or as his fangirls, and as I was saying during technical difficulties before it crapped out, if you have never seen a Finn Balor match in Japan, aka Prince Devitt, aka Devi-chan, go enjoy that. If you enjoyed the Nakamura chants.
And just gotta say, they got rid of those ribbons really quickly.
Yeah, I think it's just like WWE, like, no, we will not, we will not do this. Fuck you.
All right, so again, pretty solid match. You know, hopefully there won't be too many more of these. I think they're already scheduled for one more.
I wasn't that big a fan because you could obviously tell this was make Nakamura look like a star.
Yeah.
Good luck, Joe, kind of thing.
Yeah, so they'll probably give Joe his rematch, and
Somebody spoiled what's the plan for it. I don't know the steps for it, but apparently they're going to have one more match.
yeah.
So, and it's a certain match type, but I won't spoil it.
Right. Okay. Cool. So yeah, it was all right. I definitely don't think it was as good as their last two matches, and the match before that wasn't particularly the greatest. It's like we said the last time. It's like they just don't really mesh together
Yeah, I think
that well.
Joe needs more of a grounded kind of person to work with, and I think Nakamura and Reigns is going to end up being a good match.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I could definitely see
All
it.
right, so let's move on to Lucha.
Lucha Underground. So Dario Cueto has come up with a new way to get to the championship. It's the Battle of the Bulls tournament. It's what's it? Four-man matches. So 2 this week, probably 2 next week. First up, you had
And I
Cage.
assume the winners probably have a thing.
Right. Yeah. The winners have match, and then the winner of that will go on to face either Johnny Mundo or Sexy Star. You know, but we'll get into that right now, just because it was the only other match of the night. This was technically the second match. So Dario said that, you know, he really, really liked Sexy Star as a performer, that she deserved another shot.
Mm-hmm.
And if she could beat PJ Black, who's the only member of the Worldwide Underground that she hasn't beaten, she will get her rematch in a steel cage versus Johnny Mundo. But if she loses, she will never get another opportunity ever. And I was kind of surprised.
Yeah.
Dario
it's a good storytelling instrument. It didn't really make a whole lot of sense.
No. But then he still kind of was like, hey, it's best for... Like, a lot of the stuff he comes up with isn't necessarily evil, but it's just what's best for business. But he usually has a little underhanded...
Yeah, it's
into it.
short-term sizzle, is what it's called.
Yeah.
'Cause it's something like when you think about it, it's like, oh, that doesn't really make sense, but it puts added heat on something.
So yeah, it was a nice little match. Obviously we had what's his ass come out with
Evans.
Jack Evans, thank you. I'm sorry, I was drawing a blank. Come up with a baseball bat, kind of flung around, but that was in itself was the distraction, and I thought that was kind of spicing it up a little bit.
You could see that the Worldwide Underground is kind of made up of veterans that know what they're doing.
Yeah, but in the end, Sexy Star pulls off the win, and she will be in a cage match against Johnny Mundo for the title.
I hope it's better than the last match they had against one another.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't good. I'm going to be really fair. I love Mundo, but that was not a good match.
Yeah. All right, so right along with the first Battle of the Bulls match, Cage, Tejano, Joey Ryan, and Dr. Wagner Jr. And it's Lucha, it's just a fun match with mostly big guys going in there. Joey Ryan being the goof that he is, getting a few hits in there, but he's effectively a jobber.
Yeah, he's the guy that somebody's got to take the
toss around.
Yeah, somebody's got to look ass at the end of the day in order to make everybody else look good, and that's kind of his job.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, the machine known as Cage picks up the win with obviously Tejano, who he's been feuding with for the unique opportunity.
Is that over now?
Nope.
I was gonna say, it seems like they just kind of dropped it, but
no, it's Cage is still 2-0. So obviously Tejano was a little distraught, and then in between the Sexy Star match and the last match, we had two little segments in the back. One with Cobra Moon and her fucking tribe of reptilians.
Pretty cool looking dudes.
I mean, I love me some reptiles, although I'm pretty sure there are no cobras in the fucking Latin Americas.
There also are no dragons.
Well, I mean...
And there's two different lucha dragons right now.
You can have... it's mythology, so...
Mythology of the astronaut, Aerostar, who lives in a cave, but apparently is also an astronaut. He sexually identifies as a rocket ship.
Alright, so, so it's kind of cool, because Cobra Moon really hasn't done anything.
Yeah, I think the Doug, who, whatever happened with him, if they only signed him for one season, thought they were going to get him for a second season, and he just went to fuck off land, whatever happened there. I think kind of screwed her over as a character. I think they were slow burning on something.
Yeah.
But I kind of dig this, because
gives Drago something to do.
Because
he's kind of in that weird gray area where it's like...
He's got a title, but it's...
He himself...
They're three super blandy dudes. Let's just be clear. Like, Phoenix can have personality. We have yet to see anything from Aerostar. He's just like, beep, boop, beep, rocket ship.
And Drago, who has like one of the coolest gimmicks ever, where he spits acid and he has nunchucks, and what is probably the coolest mask in Lucha. So that's going to be pretty cool. Whatever happens with that, and then we have Dario and Matanza. Matanza breaks free.
Oh, I really dig the Drago as because if you know anything about dragon mythology, a lot of the dragons, they started out effectively as snakes. They're called worms in mythology, which are effectively just giant snakes. And then he transcended into a dragon. So I really like that idea of making him from the snake tribe, but he's almost like a slave. He's an indentured servant effectively. She's the queen of it. So all right, let's go on to what you were talking about.
So Dario and Matanza, they're talking to each other, looking like they're having a little brotherly moment. He fucking pulls Dario, slams him into the cage, and steals his key, gets out, and later on in this match, which was Mil Muertes, Dragon Azteca, Marty the Moth Martinez, and the Mac.
I have to point out, whoever booked this one, shame. I didn't realize how big Marty the Moth was until he was next to your two monster heels, and he towered over both of them. Like, Mil Muertes was a good inch and a half, probably shorter than him.
Yep.
And Matanza looked downright small. Having Marty out there was not a good idea.
No.
Marty looked like the monster in the ring, and everybody else not so much. So just, I get the idea of like, you can't just have people that can never
Yeah.
wrestle one another, but it was bad. Bad decision because it made your monsters look small, which is kind of a booking issue. All right, so your winner.
Was the Mac, which
Good
was
shit.
kind of surprising, to be perfectly honest. He was honestly the last guy I would have figured that they would have
It makes sense
to
if
win.
you're gonna have Mundo win the cage match. That Mac should be the one to defend Sexy's
Right.
honor. Because do you really think a cage is going to stop the Worldwide Underground from?
No. Didn't stop Chris Jericho. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure there are more than one Chris Jericho.
Because I'm expecting a few different spots. I'm thinking you're going to get the Worldwide Underground out there, like poking through the cage, doing whatever they can, sliding
Yeah.
shit to Mundo. I think you're going to get Mac that chases off the Worldwide Underground. I think you're going to see an Angelico dive from Dario's office into the cage somehow. Something like that. Maybe he gets chased out by whatever.
Yeah.
I got a feeling like those kind of spots are coming. So just because it's going to be a steel cage match, I don't think that means there's going to be no interference. So I think Johnny still wins by some nefarious means.
Yeah, there's no doubt about
So
that.
that gives Mac probably the best storyline reason. He's like, I want Mundo. That guy's a scumbag. You
Mhm.
know, I love Mundo, but
Yeah.
I assume the Mac does not so much.
He is not quite a fan. He's not going to buy his t-shirt anytime soon.
No. Which you can buy at ProWrestlingTees.com. I actually just bought a Mundo shirt. So you can also get Mac shirts. Mac has his own store there, so support your favorite wrestlers there.
Yeah, I think the only wrestling shirts that I have the Hulkamania shirt and the Macho shirt. I have the Funkasaurus shirt that you got me many Christmases ago. Or was it for my birthday? I can't remember. It was gifted by Dave to me, and then my Follow the Buzzards shirt.
Pretty much all my shirts are wrestling shirts, but I hate a lot of WWE shirts. Like, I like wrestling shirts that you don't know it's a wrestling shirt unless you're kind of in the club. And that's the issue I have with a lot of like official WWE merch.
Yeah, they're just, it's obvious. Like, it's
Because I'm just going to point something out to
characters.
you, everybody who makes wrestling shirts. You kind of don't want to walk around with like a half-naked dude on your chest. Or like in his tights. It's weird. Like AJ's new shirt looks
Yeah.
cool. I'll give WWE credit on that one. I do really like that one.
That's one of the reasons why I like my my Buzzard shirt, because it's just
Yeah.
the vulture with the thing, and I think it says, follow the light will bring you home. So
Yeah. I mean,
unless
WWE's
you're
definitely been doing a lot better. But I remember like
Yeah.
back when I was a kid, a lot of wrestling shirts were like
just a
Stone Cold.
picture of the wrestler on it.
Yeah, and like granted, it was at an era where most people knew what a Stone Cold was, and like
Yeah.
to have Stone Cold in his tights on your T-shirt wasn't that weird. But like,
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine like walking around in like a Randy Orton T-shirt.
Or him just going like this.
It's just like
in
a
his
dude
fucking
underwear.
in his trunks.
A Speedoo. Just like it'd be weird.
Glistening.
So like, I'm glad that
Mhm.
they've kind of getting away from it, but still, there's some ugly WWE shirts. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, it's been hard because there's none really other than the new Bray Wyatt shirt, which says the Scarecrow on it, and that's, guys can't see it over there, but I have a couple Scarecrow from Batman. He's kind of my guy. And
He's your rogue of choice.
yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Me being the big Halloween mark that I am. And I kind of want to get it, but I already have a Bray Wyatt shirt, so I feel like I should save that spot. Plus, I have a shit ton of shirts already, but I'd like to get another wrestling shirt, so I don't know who I would get it for. I was gonna get the Halloween Budio shirts because, again, I like New Day and I like
Get that Rich Swann T-shirt I was telling you about.
Yeah, I might have to do that. I might have to.
Because isn't Rich Swann kind of your guy?
Yeah, he's starting to become my guy. Yeah, I do dig him quite a bit. I mean, shit. I already made 2 T-shirts already. So I'm not being lazy and
I believe.
I need a new. Well, Aaron and I need a new program to
Yeah.
like do some stuff because the only shirts that I made, I have one which was a previous design that I already just took off my DeviantArt, and then one I made in MS Paint, and it was an 8-bit shirt. So
All right.
that was a little bit easier for me to do. So actually, hand drawing something, I gotta like get used to. Like not looking, because obviously I can't see what I'm drawing if it's on the pad. Like I have to get used to. Cause I'm used to drawing like this. Like this is how I draw with my face right up to the paper. So I gotta get used to like not looking at what I'm drawing technically, and I'm not very good at that. So my scribblings might not come out that great. I can always get my wife to do it because she's a lot better at it, and most of her shit was in that program that she's made. So.
All right. Well, I'm pretty vocal about who my guys and guyettes are. Who are the Travis guys and gals right now in wrestling?
All right, so I already said my two women, my top women are Becky and Alexa Bliss. I'm definitely becoming more of a Seth Rollins fan. I never disliked him, but he was just kind of in that gray area.
Yeah.
But he's climbing up there. I really like the New Day, but I'm on the same path as you are. Like as much as I love them, you got to get the belts off them. Give them
Just
a little
farther
break.
down that path.
Bray. Bray right now is my top guy. Bray is my favorite.
Who's your lucha bro?
My lucha bro. Oh God, that I really got to think.
Swan, Gallagher,
Oh, you mean just like?
any of them.
Oh, I thought you meant lucha as in Lucha Underground.
Oh, I meant like cruiserweights.
Okay,
But sure,
yeah.
Lucha Underground.
Yeah,
too.
Rich Swann. He might be my number one. TJ, I really like. I really liked Luchadors. Lince Dorado,
Grand Metal.
Grand Metalik.
Lince
almost-
Dorado also has a T-shirt on, or he has a T-shirt store. I didn't really look
Yeah.
at him.
Jack Gallagher. I really like. I like a lot of. I don't think there's a single guy in the cruiserweight division that I dislike.
Yeah, I'd say the only one that I wouldn't say I dislike him. I just don't see the appeal as no end.
I know you're not a big fan of Ho Loon either.
I just think he's super green.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty damn sure they said he's self-taught and stuff, and it shows.
Yeah, it shows.
He does some weird shit.
I like Endzone Cass quite a bit. I don't know if I'm ready to buy a T-shirt from them yet, but I like them.
Because I was just trying to figure out who are your guys that you're gonna buy a T-shirt if you were to buy a T-shirt. From
Exactly. Like that's the hardest part.
What assuming you went to a wrestling convention, who would you want to rep on a T-shirt? Like I'm going as fucking out there as possible. Like I'm gonna rock my Mustafa Ali T-shirt.
Yeah, definitely Bray Wyatt would be my number one.
Okay.
Definitely Bray.
I got my hipster streak in me. I know it. So I gotta do something fucking weird.
Yeah. Plus, I could probably cosplay as Bray Wyatt too, just like get a beard and just like. Again, Kevin Owens, I'm starting to really like a lot too.
See, Kevin Owens is like the king of the guy. I don't dislike Kevin Owens, but at the same time,
Yeah.
when people are like, "Oh, he's the best," I'm just like,
Oh, I'll try. Yeah, I'm with you on
I
that.
just don't get the connection.
Yeah. Chris Jericho, I fucking love Chris Jericho to death.
Yeah.
But he's kind of like he's an older guy, so he kind of doesn't really.
You know what I think
hard
it
to
is
put
for
him
me
into that.
with Owens is I watched a lot of Kevin Steen,
Right.
so this to me just kind of feels like
Yeah.
something I've already kind of seen, and it's just a little watered down.
Right.
Like I'm not really like a curse mark. Like sometimes it works really well where you can just be like, you know what, shut the hell up, kind of thing. Like sometimes dropping those little peppercorns in there, they can make a promo better. But I've never been like you need to curse to get your point across thing. I hate when you do fake cursing.
Yeah.
I'd rather you just not do any cursing at all. Like it's like I'm gonna kick your flipping butt,
But
your posterior.
so I'm gonna just kind of take a quick look through mine to see if there's anybody in particular. AJ Styles. I've always been a big AJ. I cannot believe I almost forgot AJ Styles.
WWE AJ Styles.
I love
Or WWE champion, I should say.
Yeah, love AJ Styles. I think he's fantastic.
What's your top SmackDown tag team? Oh, no, the champs. Bray, Randy,
Yeah.
whatever.
Trying to think of anybody. I mean, you know me. I like Zack Ryder quite a bit. I'm starting to dig Mojo Rawley. He's still finding his gimmick. He's trying to build on what he has and try to.
All right, out
So
of
I can
like
appreciate that.
the non-established, like NXT or cruiserweights, if you had like the blue chip, as I like to call it, and put it on somebody's shoulder, and you're gonna be like, "This is the next big thing." I'm putting on Mustafa Ali. Who are you putting your blue chip on? Is somebody not really like established, not everybody knows about? Is there anybody that you're kind of looking at? And you're like, man or woman, tag team, I don't care.
I mean, Jack Gallagher. Once he came out,
I was a
in
little
that third
concerned
match.
with his Raw crowd response.
yeah.
Granted, I think he picked it up once he started
Oh
doing
yeah,
the
once
spots.
I think that there was a lot more people on
Yeah.
that second 205 Live, and once Jack Gallagher came out, man, he
Yeah.
got quite a bit of a pop, I had to say.
Because like on the episode of Raw, his second match, I was kind of like, when he came out, it was kind of like a little mixed and kind of like, well, what's going on? He's kind of goofy looking, like what's his
Yep.
deal? But like once he started doing all of his moves, I think he got the
Yep.
crowd going. So
Absolutely.
I just worry if he's not a guy you constantly kind of have on TV and people are kind of get used to who he
Yeah.
is and they know who he is. He's a guy that could suffer from not being on television
Right.
that much.
Right.
But at the same time, I almost wonder is he over because of his spots?
Right now, I think it's because of his spots, but again,
Is it something like
he's never really been around, so they kind of have to. Hey,
I
he
mean,
can do
like-
all this crazy shit, but now that he's there,
Yeah,
kinda-
I wonder once he moves away from those spots, does,
Exactly.
does he still put on a good match?
yeah,
Once people have seen all these spots enough times
Yeah.
that's not enough to get a big pop. Like, can he
Right.
still control them? So hope so.
Yeah, time will tell, I suppose.
So you got your money on Gallagher. I'm going Mustafa Ali.
Yeah.
We'll see what goes on. All right, guys.
All right, guys. Before this goes on any too much longer and my phone completely runs out of memory, I'm Supercharged Funk. That is Dave. We're gonna hopefully start doing next week some lists for you guys. So you'll catch you guys next time.
I'm actually going to put it out what we're going to do next week. We're going to take the list of the Cruiserweight Classic and we're going to rank them individually, like where we would put them in order. Because I think it's, less than 20 guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna write that down just so we don't forget.
Yeah. And we'll just find
Chances
a
are
nice
we will
list.
forget.
And I think that can be a fun video, like, as of right now, where we see them and where we kind of see them in the future. So, Dave,
Judge, catch you guys next time.
later.